everyone, and welcome back to Sauti Briefs, where we discuss current conservation topics in Kenya and Africa. I'm your host, Natasha Nyangara, and before we proceed with today's episode, have you checked out our YouTube channel? If not, go check it out and subscribe. Follow us on our social media pages at Uvumbuzi Africa on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Without further ado, let's do this. On our first topic today, let's discuss some of the strides that Kenya is making towards achieving electric transportation. As the call for climate change is being pushed, electric vehicles are gaining traction in the country and across Africa, with several companies working on building these machines. Since the introduction of the first electric vehicle to the Kenyan market in 2020, efforts continue to be amplified to transform the electric transportation space and significantly reduce the country's greenhouse gas emissions. In January this year, the Swedish-Kenyan company Opibus introduced Kenya's first African-designed and manufactured electric bus with the goal of bringing clean energy to public transportation. Opibus, Kenya's first electric motorcycle manufacturer, intends to commercialize the bus in a few months and bring it to markets across Africa by 2023. This milestone sets a precedent for Kenya's transition from fossil fuel vehicles to clean electric mobility. Most of the public transportation in Kenya and across the African continent is run informally, and therefore global emission standards are rarely enforced. This ultimately results in highly polluting vehicles on our roads. This is according to UNEP's sustainable mobility expert, Jane Akumu, who contends that the biggest contributors to pollution in cities such as Nairobi are the large number of heavy-duty and public transport vehicles. Motorcycles and three-wheeled vehicles, commonly known here in Kenya as tuk-tuks, are rapidly becoming the most popular mode of transport in the country. The number of newly registered motorcycles, commonly used as taxis or boda-bodas, was estimated at 1.5 million in 2018 and will likely grow to over 5 million by 2030 in Kenya alone. According to studies by environmental experts at the UNEP, a motorcycle is on average 10 times more polluting for the air per mile than a passenger car or a light truck. To counter the effects of this environmental menace, UNEP, with the support of the German government, launched a robust program to combat air pollution and promote energy conservation through electric motorcycles. This program was implemented in Kenya through an initiative launched in March 2021, which provided 99 electric motorcycles to 4 partners, including the Kenya Power and Lighting Company. Since then, the country's power utility, Kenya Power, has announced plans to build countrywide charging ports for electric vehicles and push for further reduction of import taxes on electric cars. Kenya is particularly well positioned to lead Africa on its transition to electric transportation. Our electricity production is notably carbon-free, with over 90% of our power being generated from renewable sources like hydro, thermal, and wind power, boosting the green credentials of our efforts to transition to the use of electric vehicles. Kenya also has a wide tech adoption, and the government continues to push for electric vehicles through friendly policies. As we commend the strides made in Kenya on the uptake of electric vehicles, we note that there is need to hasten this progress as the global community, spearheaded by the European Union, pushes to effectively ban the sale of new petrol and diesel cars from 2035, aiming to speed up the switch to zero-emission electric vehicles as part of a broad package of measures to combat global warming. Our second topic today takes us to Southern Africa. Mozambique's Ministry of Sea, Inland Waters and Fisheries has launched Africa's largest mangrove reforestation project in collaboration with Blue Forest, a UAE-based mangrove reforestation specialist. As part of a long-term collaboration, the project that was launched last week will cover 185,000 hectares of mangrove forest and aims to plant close to 100 million trees. Furthermore, the project will offset approximately 200,000 tons of CO2 emissions per year, which is the equivalent of removing 50,000 fossil fuel vehicles from the road. This flagship campaign will involve public institutions, universities, and non-governmental organizations. In addition, carbon credits will be used to fund the project and the proceeds shared among local and national stakeholders in accordance with the National Fund for Sustainable Development guidelines. Mozambique has over 300,000 hectares of mangroves along its coast, which is one of the largest tracts of mangrove forests in Africa. Mangroves are recognized as important systems in the country, providing several socio-economic and ecological services to the communities. These include nursery function, primary production, coastal protection, and carbon sequestration. Mangroves are also important providers of wood resources, fishing grounds for invertebrates, and several economic activities that are developed inside these forests. In the year 2000, Cyclone Helene, the longest-lived cyclone on record in the Indian Ocean, hit the shores of Mozambique, wiping out fields, homes, and nearly 60% of the mangroves that surrounded the Limpopo estuary. As a result of this, many livelihoods that were dependent on the mangrove ecosystem were lost. One of the notable aspects of this project is the heavy reliance on innovation and technology. The partners plan to use high-resolution satellite imagery, light detection and ranging technology, and remote sensing data to pinpoint key hotspots where restoration is most needed. Artificial intelligence algorithms will then be used to decipher satellite data and field measurements in order to tailor reforestation activities in a precise, efficient, and transparent manner. Uvumbuzi Africa congratulates the people of Mozambique on this major step and wishes the project all the success. If you have any questions about the topics covered in today's episode, feel free to engage with us in the comment section below. Or you could send us a direct message on any of our social media platforms at Uvumbuzi Africa on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For me, it's Asante. Until next time.